I had that little tip of wine to introduce our next inductee. It is my great honor to be inducting Greg "Grog" Mesanko, New Jersey. Greg started surfing in 1963 right out in front of his house in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, starting out on canvas mats and then moving up to his first surfboard from Keller Surf Shop, a 910 G&S. Coming into the 70s, Greg was known for his skills on a Nueva twin fin. He was a damn good surfer. And you'll see that. The photo's going to come up here. I wish I could coordinate what I'm going to tell you, but there's a photo that's going to be of Greg Mesanko on a huge day at Manasquan Inlet, double overhead plus, and he's riding a very short Nueva fish. Now, back in those days, on big waves with juice and power, you'd be riding a pintail gun. Not this guy. He was known for what he did on a twin fin Nueva fish. He was the man. Greg competed in contests up and down the East Coast until the age from 14 to 50, having most of his success in the men's, senior men's, and masters divisions. He worked for a store called Custom Surf Shop, but his inspiration came from Dick Catry and Ron John when he was going to school in Cocoa. There's so many guys from up north that came down to the Cocoa Beach area. He went to what was called BCC, Brevard Community College, and he was one of these guys. And he didn't really study so much. He majored in surfing. And so many of them did. He said he worked with Gary Proper, and they designed to put together basic plans for his first surf shop called Natural Art in Ortley Beach in 1969. They sold all the good stuff, Hobie Con, Waneland surfboards, O'Neill wetsuits. But in 1970, he opened the infamous Grog's Surf Palace. And it came to my attention that in a magazine article in 1990 titled Success up there in New Jersey, the first thing he said is, "I hated the name Grog. My name is Greg. I much prefer that." But he was pretty sharp that he realized that Greg's Surf Shop wasn't going to do as good as Grog's. This guy is a marketer. He was recently inducted in the New Jersey Surfing Hall of Fame. He's best known for his 28-year tenure as the standout surf shop in New Jersey. That was the destination. You were going to go to Grog's Surf Palace. It was the place to be. And Grog, or Greg, he was the man. He brought the Seaside Pro to New Jersey for 3 years, 76, 77, and 78. He was the first one to bring the guys from the tour, the fledgling IPS tour. He had Rabbit and Sean and PT. They were all there. And that was a badge of honor for Grog. He got to hang out with those guys, but most of all, he brought them and everybody got to see them and interact with them. I mean, they got Sean and Rabbit on Good Morning America. They had, Grog was getting the local stores, Bloomingdale's, Ralph Lauren, they were buying his surfboards used for props in their stores. Grog's Surf Palace, being that close to New York City, was a big part of the surfing movement of the 70s. He closed after 26 years and chose a life as a sales rep as his next business adventure. How was that for a learning curve?
Tough.
Driving 4 hours for an appointment and the buyer doesn't show up, or he cancels and doesn't give you an order, and then you have to babysit his kids for a couple hours to get paid for an invoice. Pretty hard learning curve there. It was important for him to experience the job and appreciate all the work that reps have done, because a lot of surf shop owners never get that opportunity. But does he miss it? Hell no. He was born for retail in the surf industry. He currently has a shop up in New Jersey, and he wants everyone to know he's a surfer. And I say, yo, brotherhead, Greg Mesanko.
Well, I lost my notes. So I'm going to have to wing it here. I'd like to thank my family first. Could you guys stand up? They all flew down here. There's 20 of them here. My grandkids, of course, my lovely wife who supports all my weird habits. My 6 kids, my brother Chris, his wife, Margot, Tom, Dylan, Casey, Kenny, they're all here. I mean, God, it's 55 years. Who would have thought that I would get an award for something that I actually love to do, you know? I mean, Chris and I, my brother, we were lucky to grow up right on the beach, Seaside Heights, small little house right on the beach. Our backyard was the surf, so it was a natural thing for us to just go surfing in the backyard. And then in '63, there was a surf shop. I bought a surfboard, and my mind just changed. I wasn't really good at like sports, you know, like wrestling and football. I was like sort of like a loner. And when I got in the water, it just was perfect for me. You know, I could be one with nature, and it just took off. We went to New York one day, Kips Bay Theater, and we saw The Endless Summer, and boy, that changed everything in our head. And off we were to Puerto Rico in the middle of the night, San Juan, 1966. We didn't speak Spanish. There was a cab driver there. He didn't know what we were doing with these boards. We just said, Rincon, Rincon, Rincon. And we got there, and there it was. Nobody was out. It was just Maria's, dog man's, and Maria was alive. She sold us some stale cookies and Coke for lunch with her goats inside her house and stuff. And then it was like the Caribbean for 10 years. Always surfed. You know, we pioneered we were sort of like the second pioneers. You know, we were real close to the first wave, but Barbados and Tortola, and then we got our balls up and we went to Hawaii and got taught a lesson. And we were there in '76. Chris and I, my brother, we were on the road all over the place. We surfed Lonnie's and we surfed Himalayas and we surfed Backdoor, and we traveled a lot. And then we went off to Europe, and we surfed in France. And Chris and I started surfing Mex, and we started surfing Central America and Australia, and it took us off the 4 corners of the earth we've been. This surfing thing is just such a great thing. So on all my travels, what did I do? I brought back all the shapes from all over the place. We were bringing boards back, you know, from Northern California. I wanted to have the best shapers in my store at all the time. Whether it was, you know, David's boards, Twin Fins, Terry Martin's boards, Jim Overland's, Tom Overland's, the Hout brothers, the Hout, and then we were into all the southern, you know, Skip Fry, the Nectars, Simon Anderson's, MR's. We sold thousands of surfboards, and that was really what I took pride in doing, having the best surfboards anywhere on the planet. That's where we were behind. And then it went on, you know, then all of a sudden the clothing manufacturers started coming in, and we had no clothing in the beginning, and then it was OP, and then it was Quicksilver, and then it was Billabong, and then it was Stussy, and we did a lot of business with the South Africans, if they're out there listening, and the Australians, and we had a good time. It was a good run. And then, you know, things happen after 26 years, you make some mistakes, your ego gets away with you a little bit, you think you can't do anything wrong, and I got slapped down, lost everything, and became a sales rep, and I got humbled quick. The road is a tough road, but I met a nice woman, my wife, who gave me support, and I did it. You know, I just kept traveling, and we started building up, and we started to make some money as a sales rep. But I want to say something about the sales reps. You guys deserve all the credit you get, because if I wasn't slapped down and came back as a sales rep, I could have never appreciated the other side of this business. So here's to you guys, all you guys. And then a little angel came and said, you want to get back into the retail business? I said, sure. And his name is Paul Naudé. And I don't know if he's here now, but he gave me a second chance. He said, find a store in New Jersey, and Billabong will get behind you. And I've had a store in Shrewsbury, Billabong store. It's a nice, good store. We deal with a better clientele, the Bruce Springsteens and the Bon Jovis, and they come in, and it's been a good run. And so, to wrap it up, I mean, how lucky are we, how lucky my brother and I were, and to be right on the beach, find something in this world that you love to do. It's good for your mind, it's good for your soul. You exercise doing it, you can make money, and you can travel around the world. How lucky are we to find this sport? It is unbelievable. I want to thank my family for coming here again, my wife, my daughter, my kids, sons, and thanks to all of you. It's a great sport. Thanks for your support. It's been a good run in the fast lane.